I love being smashed. Welcome to Who Dinks Wins from the Special Pickleball Service with me, Coach Beresford.
Me, Coach Montgomery.
And me, Coach Philip.
This week, we're being properly put in our place because we're joined by Coach Kim. No manspreading on court, no mansplaining the rules, and certainly no skimpy skirts, which means back to the wardrobe for Montgomery. Welcome, Kim. Thank you for joining us. Aren't you busy in training for nationals or something crazy?
I am. So I won mixed doubles 4.0 with my partner, the state championship, and then I won 4.5 women's doubles with my women's doubles partner for the state championship. So going to nationals, and it was a big goal. So I'm excited.
Congratulations.
Wow. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's awesome. Well done. We're proud of you. That's amazing.
Oh,
I can
thank you.
remember you absolutely schooling me at La Rinconada all those years ago.
No,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
amazing. You were so good. So
No, no, not at all. But God, look at you. You've done so well. Watching you is a joy. We talked about Erin Green the other week, but you have that same sort of intimidation factor. You know you're broken and beaten before you even get on the court. You're that good.
Oh, I like playing with Aaron. I actually did a tournament in Santa Rosa with Aaron, and we got silver.
I first met you, Kim. I thought you were the Selkirk rep. Do you remember? I just went
Oh
bounding up to you
yeah.
and say, "Hello, are you the Selkirk rep?" And you didn't know what the hell I was talking about.
I know. I was like, what is Selkirk? Wait, no, 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 no. I'm a Yola girl.
And what do you do? What do you do what are you concentrating on in training for the nationals? What you're training hard, but what are you doing?
Yeah, so playing a lot with Karen and Anatoly and doing a lot of drilling, drilling shots that we're not as good at, so trying to just get those down and getting pulled out when dinking, covering middle and court positioning, doing patterns.
And what category are you going into with nationals? Is there an age category? I mean, it's mixed doubles, but is there a
Yeah.
specific?
So women's doubles, do I have to say?
Yeah.
Just just mid-range. Who just leave it
Yeah,
like that?
mid-range. So I'm playing older with Anatoly, and he doesn't feel comfortable playing 4.5, so I'm going to play 4.0 with him. And then there's 50 some people in our category, so that's a lot of people. And then with Karen, I play actually I play 55 to 59 with Karen and 4.5, and we have about I'd say 27 different teams, so it's a lot, so it'll be interesting.
Where's it being held?
And in San Diego at the Barnes Center, the only thing that I'm worried about is it now is forecast for rain.
Really?
So
In San
yeah, so
Diego.
yeah, in San Diego, and it's an outdoor venue, so I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe 3,000 people playing.
God.
So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Nightmare. Anyway,
yeah.
let's get on to this week's subject. All about when you play against your male counterparts, what they do to put you off, or annoying things that they do on the court.
Yeah. What despicable behaviors are there that you encounter, Kim, that you then use to remedy the situation and kick their ass?
First thing, I think in advance, we need to apologize on behalf of all of the men that play pickleball, because most of them are complete asses, and we're very sorry for them.
It
Yeah,
honestly, it depends on who I'm playing with because I actually play mostly with men. So it just depends on who they are and why we're playing, right? If it's for rec, it's all fun,
yeah,
you know. But when it comes to training or competing or at the hub, they have different open play levels. Men are a little bit more competitive. So a woman shows up and she actually has to be so much better than the man for the respect. But I have so many guy friends in pickleball, so I don't want to be, putting it all in one basket because it's not.
Is there an equivalent of a male camel toe to put you off?
The
I
one
think
thing that does happen sometimes is men, they like to cover more court, and that's okay with me. But if I'm set and ready to go to hit a ball, like, up at the net, come right in front of me to take the ball and then they miss it, So that's the only thing really.
do you think that maybe man thinks that woman hasn't got this, or man is just going at it like a crazed young Labrador trying to fetch every ball that they can?
Are you asking for a friend, Barry?
Yeah. Roger Milton.
I don't know. I've played with you, Barry, and I played with you, Mark, and you don't do that. Phil, I haven't played with you, but I'm sure you don't do that either. There's like a percentage, a small percentage that will want to take all the shots. They just feel like they're going to get it. And again, and when they miss it, then it's just like, oh, come on. I could have had that.
I think we want to hear about people you play against, what they do to put you off.
You go to certain courts, certain parks, and you play, and my women's doubles partner won't even go to one because it's all men, and you could tell the feeling that they don't want to play against you, right? And then if we beat them, that's even worse.
Can't win. You can't win. They assume you're bad, and then when
Yeah.
you come
Yeah,
up when you're a challenge, they hate that even more. That is really strange, isn't it?
yeah, so it's just a look on their face and the attitude, and they almost don't want to hit the ball. They're not as engaged, if
Oh,
you
I
know what I
see. So
mean.
they're holding back a bit.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once we start playing, they'll up their game because they don't want to lose.
It's really embarrassing when you see a guy targeting someone, probably based on them being weaker or just being a woman, regardless of whether it's male or female that you're playing against. It is rather awful when you see it and you say, look, fella, kind of stop doing that.
But a lot of times, in the higher level, they will not even hit to me if I'm playing mixed, right? They'll hit to the guy because they're thinking, I just want to have harder shots. It's a lot of banging.
How do you deal with these bangers then? I mean, what's your tip and technique for dealing with the hard hitters from the back of the court?
Yeah, so a lot of players that are bangers, they like to play deep, like tennis. They like to play tennis back. So it's just basically getting to the kitchen and resetting shots. And, Phil, you'll probably agree with that, right? It's just doing the reset and playing the dinking game. Lobbing is always a good strategy also because that throws them back. But guys are starting to lob a lot more than they used to. They used to think it was this ridiculous thing to do, but now it's really a great shot, right? And it's more universal, and a lot of pros are doing a lot more lobbing.
I love to lob, but I just analyzed it once, and I was getting like 1 in 5 in, which is not a good return, is it?
You have to drill that stuff, right?
You
Yeah.
got to drill that stuff. And speaking of drilling, I drill a lot of I drill with a friend of mine, Thomas, at the hub, and I just tell him to just hit as hard as he can to me. And I'll be at the kitchen line, and I'll just be resetting, 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 resetting. So it's a lot of practice.
I don't get to meet those players very often in the circles that I play in anyway. So it is pretty rare to get it. And when you do, it's quite noticeable compared to, the rest of the time. So you tend to spend less time drilling that sort of thing because you don't come across it very much.
Yeah, there's a few at where we play, right?
Right.
There are a few guys that I play. I'm in a Sunday group where they're really strong players. But again, it's a challenge for me. I love it, and when I get it back, I'm so happy.
To flip it on its head a bit, what are there women who take advantage of their femininity to get points? Like, would they be dressing in a certain style, or would they be, there must be women who do take advantage of being a woman on the court. There must be.
I don't know. I certainly don't. I try to be more tomboy, right? So I've got all my cute outfits, right, that I used to play. And then when I play a higher level, it's just like, okay, I'm wearing the tights. I've got the hair like way pulled back.
Ready for action, yeah.
Ready for action.
So, Mark, you've noticed this, have you, in your
Well, there are some women, obviously, at the Bay Club who I think do take advantage of.
Oh.
have you felt you've been taken advantage of, Mr.
No, I'd
Mark?
like to be taken advantage of, obviously, but haven't had the opportunity. Moving on swiftly.
Yeah, I think you just went down the sort of sexist rabbit hole there, Mark.
I was trying not to, but it was a legitimate question, I thought.
Can I go back to something you mentioned earlier about your male partner taking the ball? Well, I guess it's poaching, but it's more than poaching. It's taking balls that unnecessarily they're taking. Because if you look at a lot of or when I'm observed higher level games, I see that a lot. I mean, I see the guy predominantly being at the front and taking almost 3/4 of the front of that net.
So I do like my male partner to take over the line for sure.
Right.
3/4, like you're saying, you know, because they have the stronger shot a lot of times.
But there is a tactic to it. So there's sometimes there's a taller player. There's a sort of a smaller, even more athletic and nimble player. So much like watching beach volleyball, actually, there's always the sort of the slightly taller one, the slightly shorter one. So shorter one is popping it up for the taller one to spike. So it's understanding your roles really on the court sometimes. So I mean, you do get people that are just naturally very, very good with those, with maybe a backhand volley is stronger than their forehand. So it's okay to, so long as you've agreed your role and you sort of say, and you communicate that before a game, maybe just look, you take these, are absolutely fine. And there's that always that horrible moment, isn't it, when it goes through the middle, it's on your partner's forehand side and they just watch it go
I mean,
past.
I'm a lefty, so I can cover middle more than a right hand player. It's good to say before you play, who's the more athletic one, right? And then just say, you've got lobs. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because that's a lot of running. And so I tend to do that, you know, and then I'm gonna let the guy get the lobs.
Do you
What's
put
your
backspin on your lobs, or you just hit it high?
I use the slice when I'm resetting so that it goes towards the net. When I'm lightly resetting, you know, in the kitchen. So I'm not gonna throw up a lot of lobs if it's windy. You know, it's just not a good recipe, you know.
So do you find, I mean, there are cads and bounders out there, as we call them in England, who target women when they play against them. Have you witnessed that?
I mean, it depends. If it's a tournament, yeah, I'm gonna get targeted. You know what I mean? If they don't know me for sure. And I have to prove myself,
Right.
right? And if it's rec play, not so much. Not so much with rec play, but when it's there's something on the line for sure.
him? And I'd love to watch that because just seeing the look on their face when they realize, well, actually, I've targeted the wrong person, and then they kind of have to recalibrate. And I think that would be quite a nice. You're sort of like a secret weapon in that regard because you're so lovely and you come across so warm, and then you're an absolute killer on court as well. So
Oh, thank you.
so
It's funny that you say that because I noticed that when I do play with guys, I have to kind of I am very animated normally. You all know me.
I think you're really assertive. I remember once we had a match point against you, and one of us, I can't remember whether it was me or my
Wow.
partner, we ran into, we smashed it, then ran into the kitchen. You just said, you need to replay that point, chaps, because you've just run into the kitchen. In fact, it's now our serve. And what? No, no, it's the rule. And he was just,
I don't even remember that.
oh, I've still got the scars from playing against you.
Mental scars.
Yeah, mental scars. Have to get counselling about all this. And I've noticed this as well. And by the way, I think this is it's just general sort of misogyny all over the world anyway. But man calls out the score, and everybody else on the court knows that it's wrong. And then eventually someone pipe, actually, I think it's this. And then, no, it can't possibly be. And I noticed that you'll see this with women sort of, oh no, oh, you must be right, and you're not, you're wrong. And then it takes some sort of time just to sort of eventually just you're wrong, and then stand up to it. I think it's, as I don't think it's limited to pickleball. I think it's the
Yeah.
world we live in, unfortunately, that oh, just because man says it in a mixed setting, it must be correct. What's your advice then to people? I mean, I would say, I don't want to say it's just necessarily to purely to women, but I mean, if you're feeling a little bit like, I suppose, psychologically broken in that situation or vulnerable, how do you, what's your coping mechanism for that sort of thing?
I usually take a break. I just take a time, like it'll be a timeout, you know, and walk off the court for a minute, put it in perspective of what we're doing. It's a wiffle ball, and we're
Sure.
playing, right?
Yeah.
And just not take it too seriously.
Are you allowed to do that in a tournament? Are you allowed to call a timeout in a tournament?
Yeah, you get
Oh,
two
you are?
timeouts per game.
All right, I didn't know that.
And it's a really good idea just to
Mm.
walk off the court. You know, something happened to me yesterday, I want to tell you. So we're practicing. I was practicing mixed doubles with another mixed doubles team, and they were very competitive and for just practice. and I said, hey, I said, let's just, talk about our points and let's, help each other, if something that you saw that we could do different. And the guy was like, no, I just want to play. And the opponent and with the girl. And then the score was like we were up 13-12, and my partner served an amazing serve and it was in, and it was like 6 inches in, and the girl called it out. Like he knew it was in and he didn't want to go against her. And so I said to him later after the game, I said, come on, you need to, know that that was in. Why didn't you say anything? He goes, oh, I couldn't go against her. I had to stick with what my partner said. I knew it was in. And I thought, that's just the opposite of what we usually see.
I think he was hedging his bets there slightly. I think he was waiting to see what happened. We don't get a lot of it, I don't think, down to the Bay Club, an awful lot. I think most of the time it's quite sociable, and you have
Yeah, more
regular
fun.
events like I play on a Monday morning with a lovely group of people, and you just don't want to, you just want to remain friends with them,
That's
and
right.
It
Yeah.
makes my blood boil actually. If you want to get under my skin, it's to call something out that was blatantly in, and then I just get sort of incensed, and I don't know why I do, and I have a wonderful relationship, a beautiful marriage that gets crumbled every time that we play pickleball together, because I get competitive, want to
Yeah.
win, and she has no. It just doesn't really. She like there are bigger problems in the world than pickleball, and
Yeah.
that's just
Yeah.
being in or out, and I can't let it go. I don't know what's wrong with me. It's purely just on the court, by the way.
I
Um,
think it's because you've been bullied all your life by people. You're just trying to get something back now.
you're probably struck on something there, Mark.
I get competitive too. I understand what you're saying, but I play with my husband a lot. And
Joe.
yeah, Joe, and he is so good about, even if a ball is questionably out, he will call it in. And I like playing like that. And
Yeah,
I like to play like that in rec play, right?
good.
Because I just feel like we're there for fun. It's very social. I have so many friends now because of pickleball,
Hmm.
in this area. Like it's unbelievable.
I must admit, recently I had a game. I'm not going to mention any names, but there was such a good rally, and everyone was playing so well in this rally, and one person in particular was playing out of his skin. The final shot was slightly out, but I called it in because I didn't want to ruin his day.
Oh, they're so nice.
Don't you think that because of the age group that this sport has, the majority of people in, the 40, 50 plus age group are doing this sport. Now, the majority of that group have some sort of eye issue. Either they wear glasses or contacts, or they have something going on, right? What they might see is out, they might absolutely be convinced it's out. They're not trying to cheat or anyone. They just see it that way because that's what their vision's given them,
Their
right?
depth perception is off. Yeah.
Right. So I think that's what I was surprised about, because when I was first started playing, I was calling everything as it is, right? This is what I see, and this is what I was thinking, how could you possibly call that out? And then I sort of realized that it's a bit blurry for some people.
Unless it's Roger, he's got perfect eyesight. He's got no excuse.
Ah,
He just cheats.
Roger.
Roger.
Roger started at the park we started at, Barry.
He did. He introduced me to the sport. He's
Oh, we
he's my
did.
neighbour, so that's how I got into it in the first place, thanks to Roger. Yeah. The one thing I wanted to talk about is, so funnily enough, you brought up Joe earlier. He's not quite as good as you, right? So I think that I always remember you guys playing. You're always on a different court. He's an absolute gent, as you said, but he's not quite in your league. Is that
Well,
correct?
I can't say that he's not. I mean, because he doesn't do tournaments, and we did one tournament together when I my first tournament, and it didn't go very well. It was a round robin, and he was injured, and so probably not the best time to do a tournament with your husband. But he doesn't play as much as I do, so I can't say that, we're different levels so much. I mean, I play a lot more. I play almost every day, and he's ambidextrous and he's very athletic. So he can get anything. And he'll actually call me out. He'll say, you need to start running more because you should have gotten that lob.
It's
And
interesting you said he's ambidextrous. That must be, I mean, I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous, to be honest, but
he's really good.
um,
I mean,
uh,
he switches on a dime.
right. Okay. I see a lot of that though. Do you ever do that, Phil?
I've done it maybe once or twice, but I really like the idea of it because if you're trying to reach a backhand, sometimes if you can switch hands and all of a sudden you're doing a forehand, you've got so much more room to do it. So you just have to get pretty good at practicing with your left hand drives and things like that.
So come on then, just tell us a few things, just a bit of, goss, just what really annoys you about men playing against men, opposition, the way they dress, the way they sweat, the way they swear, the way they shout, anything.
I think she just described you there, Mark.
If I'm going to say if there's something annoying, it's just that the look of not wanting to really play against you. Like it's wasting their time.
Yeah.
So maybe that would be it.
What's the one bit of advice that you wish you would have had when you first started playing? What's that one thing that you would now like to tell everybody else?
So there's a shot that I do called the tomahawk. And I didn't name it. It's called the tomahawk. I don't know. But I got a lot of slack for that. And people thought I wasn't very good because I do that shot. And now I have it in my repertoire, and I'm better at backhand. And maybe I was using it more, because I don't know, it just was easier for me at first. But I wish that I would have been a little bit more secure with myself when I started because that really got to me. And a lot of tennis players, high level tennis players, made fun of me for doing that shot. And it was really hurtful, and people didn't want to play with me because of it.
Can you explain what it is for those people that don't know?
Tomahawk. So you do a backhand. So I'm left-handed. You do a backhand, your knuckles face the net, right? So I would invert that.
Oh, right.
And I would do this way. And it's a really great shot if you're going cross court and you're at the kitchen and you're putting the shot away. But you have to have it at the ball at a certain height. And so I worked really hard to get my backhand stronger. I'm still working on it. But I guess to have a thicker skin, maybe when I started.
It can be quite intimidating, can't it, when you start pickleball?
Yeah, and I got I got made fun of a lot. And I'm sensitive and it really hurt my feelings. So I guess I should have had a thicker skin.
Kim, what a fantastic player and a fantastic human being. And I'm sort of sad we haven't played as much in the last few months. And it doesn't help that I now live in Berkeley, of course. But thank you so much for joining us and some great insights there. And good luck at Nationals. We're all proud of you.
Yes,
thank you. Thank you so much. And I would love for us all to get on a court and play. It would be really fun.
Well,
let's do that.
I'm having you as a partner.
Okay, that's fine.
Well, yeah, good luck. Let us know how it goes.
I will.
We've got another live show coming up on the 11th of December. This was supposed to be a live show, as you know, but due to various factors, bad weather, lack of interest, it didn't happen.
Not lack of interest. You guys are awesome.
11th of December, though, you'll have to be there and let us know how you got on.
Pressure's on. Okay.
All right, well, take care.
So much
Thank you, Kim.
I appreciate
Thank you, Kim. Take care, love. Bye.
Hey, this is Coach Phil, and it's my pickleball tip of the week. Gentlemen, do we know what a third shot drop is?
Yes.
I think I probably do, but I'd love you to explain it to us.
So it's the third shot of a rally. You've served it, and then it's been returned back to you. So it's bounced after you served it, and it's bounced as a return, and then you have a third shot. Most people tend to do on their third shot is to drive it hard. As a serving pair, you're at a disadvantage when you start the game because you're both deep, whereas the receiving pair, one's forward, one's back. So you have to try and do something about that. And the third shot drop is something that sort of evens out things and allows you to get to the net. So you serve it, it gets returned to you probably deep. Then you do a drop shot, which is a ball that sort of has an arc that just drops over the net, which allows you and your partner to run up to the net and then to play more of a dinking game. So it takes away the advantage that the returning team had after you served. So that's the idea of it. However, it's really tricky to do. So the way I teach it is your hips are facing forwards towards the net, which is very unusual for being that far back. Paddle is out in front with the tip pointing down, and you have a very loose grip. And then you're doing like an upward lifting motion as opposed to across it. Upward lifting, and you're trying to get the ball to arc so that the apex or the top of it is around about the kitchen line on your side, and it just drops down over the net, because you want to make sure that your opponents don't hit down on it. You want to make sure your opponents are hitting up, because if they hit down on it, that means you've either hit it too high, too far, so they're just volleying it, or you've hit it too high, it's bounced and it's come up too high, and they're volleying it or they're smashing it down. However, don't always do the third shot drop. Sometimes do a drive, because you do not want to be predictable. So sometimes you want to drive at the person that's just returned the serve, because they're the one moving. Drive it at them, or drop it somewhere and get up. So that's my tip of the week.
I'm going to challenge you on that because
Awesome.
so I sometimes worry about my skill level with the drop in that instance. And we were talking about this with Kim earlier. Sometimes, believe it or not, I defer to a lob. And I've got pretty good at lobs. And what I do is so instead of a drop shot, I almost call it a lob shot. So the third shot lob. So what you're doing in theory, right? So as they're both towards the kitchen line, they've planted their feet, they're ready to volley whatever you throw at them. Hoisting up a big old lob gets at least one of them pedaling back and gives you the opportunity. So whilst I think the third shot drop is obviously a good thing to do if you have the skill set, if you don't and you're actually pretty good at lobs, I think a lob is a really good tactical choice there. So I think you've got both. I think you can do the third shot drop, as you say. I mean, your hips locked in and your hips are flat towards the net line. But actually, putting up that lob gives you time to be able to come in as well, and also be in much more of an attacking position for when they run backwards. Sometimes they try to put it up again. It's nice and high. You can then sort of smash it down. So I think there's actually two choices there. It isn't just always about a drive or a drop. I think a lob can come in really, really handy there too.
I would say it's very difficult to do a lob if it's coming at you fast. Lobs are normally when you got a little bit more time on your hands.
I don't find that. I love being smashed, and I use the lob as a retaliation device to a smash. And it's just
Right.
purely, I mean, it's purely self-defense, I find it. I mean, if you're going to smash it at me, that's when I use my lob, I think. That's the
But I
best
think if you look at the pro game, then there tends to be not very many lobs from as a third shot, but that's because they're so good at getting back and smashing the ball hard when it's in the air from a lob.
Yeah, but I've got something to ask you. The other day, sometimes I forget to go forward when my partner's serving. I forget to go forward, but you don't have to do that, do you? Because I said you don't have that's an option. You could stay back on the line. You don't have to go forward. That's not a hard and fast
Yeah.
rule, is it? Some people seem to think it is. They go,
No
"Oh,
one needs to go forward.
you need to come forward." I don't have to come forward. I can stay here if I want.
No, but you are pushing the boundaries of the etiquette of the game by not going forward, in that people will certainly expect it, because that's really how the game is played. However, some people don't like to. But it's probably something you should mention at the beginning with a new partner, so that they know that that's your strategy, and then
Okay.
they can cover more of the net. They know it's okay to cover more of the net then.
Because I often, when I'm
Good idea.
in that position, forward, the serve goes in, the person comes. I often find myself backpedaling anyway, almost always.
But what I do is I do hang back quite a lot, and I do get a bit of criticism. Why are you hanging back? And I say, because I am reading what they're going to do. They're thinking that this space is all available for them to hit it in. Whereas what I'm trying to do is get them to hit it into exactly that space so that I can attack the shot, because I know where it's going to go. So it's part of my tactic sometimes to
Yeah.
hang back.
I mean, I guess you always look to the top level. What is happening at the most professional level of the sport? You know, because they're playing at the most purest and best way it could be played, right? The highest level. And they're not hanging back, right? No one's going back, choosing to be back. Everyone's coming up as soon as they can. So when everyone's the same level and that good, that's the way to do it. But you probably have a huge advantage staying back if you can read what's going to happen. And, you know, if you're winning more points by doing that, then.
So I think you're absolutely right, but I think what I'm saying is that it's my approach to the net. So in order, rather than just to blindly run forward and just hope
Oh,
that,
right.
you know, what I'm doing is I'm trying to invite them to hit it somewhere,
Yeah.
which gives me my best. So my best shot is my backhand slice. And I'm asking them to hit it into a part of the court where I know I can hit my best shot. So therefore, I can get to the point of that you're talking about, that offensive position and defensive position right on the kitchen line. But what I'm trying to do is get that sort of swerving slice to come in and play a part of my. Because what often happens is when people hit my slice backhand, it diverts into the net because they weren't really expecting it. And they're thinking, why is he standing there? Of course, they eventually read what I'm doing, and then they play a proper dink, and I'm too fat and slow to get to the get to the line
You know
anyway.
what I have found is I play that way like you're describing most of the time when my partner is either playing really poorly or just is at a quite significantly lower level. Then I feel like I have to cover them so much because I can get the balls or I can get near to the balls that they're not fast enough at the net to get, but then I can get them. So then I find myself floating all over the place, trying to read what they're going to do and trying to play what the parts that my partner is struggling with and is not winning.
Was there any marriage breaking conversations this week? I mean, I read the whole script from last week and couldn't see anything contentious at all with Jules.
Jules was listening to it on the way into work, and she dropped Henry a note and said, "Wow, you were really, really good." And the advice that Berry was giving you seemed a little bit out of kilter to how he treats me on court,
Oh,
about
right.
how supportive he is. I'm playing with Phil. I don't really like you anymore, Berry. It was more or less. I mean, it was like Phil's like this the lovely human being, and I'm the antichrist in our relationship at the moment. All I did was just cement why Jules hates playing with me.
I need to mention this lovely Aereo Titan Hawk we are giving away, thanks to lovely people at Aereo. We've got loads of messages coming in. We need the wittiest, the funniest one to win this, and it'll be announced on the 27th of November. Simply write a review on for Who Dinks Wins, wherever you get your podcasts, or on YouTube. If you don't want to do that, you can't do that because sometimes it is quite complicated to write a review. Just send us an email, specialpickleballservice@gmail.com. You've got, I think, about 10 days to do it.
Yeah,
So
we might have a couple of buyers in London as we speak for that particular paddle. They've entered the competition apparently, but they've
Nice.
also got onto the website to buy some. So let's hope they
Oh,
ship internationally. I think Aereo is going to be a cracking brand.
this studio show didn't happen for various reasons, but the Christmas special on the 11th of December is going to be a corker. So make sure you put that date in your diary and we'll bombard you with publicity before it happens.
people have diaries still?
Yeah, I've got file facts.
Of course you do.
And Phil, didn't you want to do a shout out to somebody?
Yeah, so one of my friends, Camille, who just started playing, it's this tennis thing. She started playing tennis 3 years ago. And one of friends of the pod, Sergio, I just put them together because we played soccer with Sergio a lot, and I've no idea how good he is at tennis, but he's just a lovely man. So I said to Camille, "Why don't you go and see Sergio?" And he's a coach at Courtside, and so she started playing tennis just 3 years ago. And then this last weekend, Courtside or Bay Club sent pairs to the Nationals. And so the USTA Nationals were in Florida this last weekend, and Camille and her partner Brett were in the 40 plus 7.0 mix, so they total up to 7.0 division, and they won it. They actually won the full-on Nationals, and it's the first time ever that a courtside, or is it courtside? Yeah, first time a courtside team has ever won nationals.
It was a great show about ladies.
And it's goodbye from me, Coach Philip.
Yeah, it's goodbye from me, Coach Beresford.
And it's goodbye from me, Coach Sid the Sexist.
Fucking bird.